This is Act 2, Scene 2 of Romeo and Juliet, featuring Jordana Hernandez as Juliet and Tommy Peel as Romeo.
Soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off. It is my lady. Oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, but she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses. I will answer it. Too bold. It is not to me she speaks. To the fairest stars in all the heaven, having some business, do entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there, they in her head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars as daylight doth a lamp. Her eyes through the airy region would stream so bright that birds would sing and think it were not night. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek.
Ay me.
She speaks. Oh, speak again, bright angel, for thou art as glorious to this night, being o'er my head, as is a winged messenger of heaven, unto the white upturned wondering eyes of mortals that fall back to gaze on him, when he bestrides the lazy puffing clouds, and sails upon the bosom of the air.
Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father, and refuse thy name, or if thou wilt not, be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Shall I hear more, or shall I speak of this?
'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not Montague. What's Montague? 'Tis nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man. Oh, be some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection which he owes without that title. Romeo, doff thy name, and for thy name, which is no part of thee, take all myself.
I take thee at thy word. Call me but love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth I never will be Romeo.
What man art thou that thus be screened at night so stopless on my counsel?
By a name I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name, dear Satan, is hateful to myself because it is an enemy to thee. Had I it written, I would tear the word.
My ears have yet not drunk 100 words of thy tongue's uttering, yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo, and a Montague?
Neath her, fair maid, if either thee dislike.
How camest thou hither? Tell me, and wherefore? The orchard walls are high and hard to climb, and the place of death, considering who thou art, if any of my kinsmen find thee here.
With love's light wings did I o'erperch these walls, for stony limits cannot hold love out, and what love can do, that dares love attempt. Therefore thy kinsmen are no stop to me.
If they do see thee, they will murder thee.
Alack, there lies more peril in thine eye than 20 of their swords. Look thou but sweet, and I am proof against their enmity.
I would not for the world they saw thee here.
I have night's cloak to hide me from their eyes. And but thou love me, let them find me here. My life were better ended by their hate than death prorogued, wanting of thy love.
By whose direction found sat out this place?
By love, that first did prompt me to inquire. He let me counsel, and I lent him eyes. I am no pilot yet. Wert thou as that vast shore washed with the farthest sea, I should adventure for such merchandise.
Thou knowest the mask of night is on my face. Else would a maiden blush and paint my cheeks of that which thou hast heard me speak tonight. Fain would I dwell on form, fain deny what I have spoke. But farewell compliment. Dost thou love me? I know thou wilt say aye, and I will take thy word. But if thou swearest, thou mayest prove false. At lovers' perjuries they say Jove laughs. Oh, gentle Romeo, if thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully. Or, if thou thinkest I'm too quickly won, I'll frown and be perverse, and say thee nay, so thou wilt woo, but else not for the world. In truth, fair Montague, I am too fond, and therefore thou mayst think my behavior light. But trust me, gentlemen, I'll prove more true than those that have more coin to be strange. I should have been more strange, I must confess. But that thou overheardst ere I was ware my true love passion. Therefore, pardon me, and not impute this yielding to light love which the dark night hath so discovered.
Lady, by yonder blessed moon I vow that tips with silver all these fruits.
Swear not by the moon, the inconstant moon that monthly changes in her circled orb, lest that thy love prove likewise variable.
What shall I swear by?
Do not swear at all, or, if thou wilt, swear by thy gracious self, which is the God of my idolatry, and all believe thee.
If my heart's dear love.
Well, do not swear at all. Although I joy in thee, I have no joy of this contract tonight. It is too rash, too unadvised, too like the lightning, which doth cease to be ere one can say it lightens. Oh, sweet Romeo, good night, good night. Has sweet repose and rest come to thy heart? Is that within my breast?
Or wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied?
What satisfaction canst thou have tonight?
The exchange of thy love's faithful vows for mine.
I gave thee mine before thou didst request it, and yet I would it were to give again.
Wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose, love?
But to be frank, and to give it thee again. And yet I wish but for the thing I have. My bounty is as boundless as a sea, my love as deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite. Juliet! I hear some noise within, dear love. I come anon! Sweet Montague, be true. Stay but a little while. I will come again.
Oh, blessed, blessed night. I am afeard being a knight. All this is but a dream. Too flattering sweet to be substantial.
3 words, gentle Romeo, and good night indeed. If that thy bent of love be honorable, thy purposed marriage, send me word tomorrow. By one that I'll procure to come to thee, where and what time thou wilt perform the rite. And all my fortunes at thy foot I'll lay, and follow thee, my lord, throughout the world. Madam! I come anon! But if thou meanest not well, I do beseech thee. Madam! By and by I come! To cease thy strife, and leave me to my grief. Tomorrow will I send.
So thrive my soul.
1,000 times good night.
1,000 times the worse to want thy light. Love goes toward love as schoolboys from their books. But love from love towards school with heavy looks.
gentle back again. Bondage is hoarse and may not speak aloud. Else would I tear the cave where echo lies and make her airy tongue more hoarse than mine with repetition of my Romeo's name. Romeo!
It is my soul that calls upon my name. How silver sweet sound lovers' tongues by night, like softest music to attending ears.
Romeo!
By night?
What o'clock tomorrow shall I send to thee?
By the hour of 9.
I will not fail. 'Tis 20 year till then. I have forgot why I did call thee back.
Let me stand here till thou remember it.
I shall forget to have thee still stand there, remembering how I love thy company.
And I'll still stay to have thee still forgetting any other home but this.
'Tis almost morning. I would have thee gone, and yet no further than a wanton's bird that lets it hop a little from his hand, like a poor prisoner in his twisted gyves, and with the silken thread plucks it back again, so loving, jealous of his liberty.
Would I were thy bird.
Sweet, so would I, yet I should kill thee with much cherishing. Good night. Good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night till it be morrow.
Sleep dwell on thine eyes, peace in thy breast. Would I were sleep and peace, so sweet to rest.
Scene 2 of The Tempest, featuring Will Redmond as Prospero and Cindy Bowling as Ariel.
Approach, my Ariel! Come!
All hail, great master, grave sir, hail! I'm here to answer thy best pleasure, be it to fly, to swim, to dive into the fire, to ride on the curled clouds, to thy strong bidding task, Ariel, and all her quality.
My brave spirit, hast thou performed to point the tempest that I bade thee?
To every article. I boarded the king's ship, now in the beak, the waist, the deck, in every cabin I flamed amazement. Sometimes I would divide and burn in many places. The yards, the topmast, the bowsprit, I flamed distinctly, then meet and join, Jove's lightning, precursor of the most dreadful thunderclap. More momentary and sight outrunning were not, the fire and cracks of sulphurous roaring, the most mighty Neptune seemed to besiege, and make his bold waves tremble. Yea, his dread trident shake.
My spirit, who was so firm, so constant, that this coil did not infect his reason?
Not a soul, but felt the fever of the mad and played some tricks of desperation. All but mariners plunged into the foaming brine and quit the vessel. Then the king's son Ferdinand, all afire with me, with hair upstreaming then like reeds, not hair, was the first men that leapt, cried, Heaven's empty, and all the devils are here.
Why, that's my spirit. But was this not nigh shore?
Close by, my master.
But are they, Ariel, safe?
Not a hair perished. On their sustaining garments not a blemish, but fresher than before, as thou badst me. In troops I have dispersed them about the isle. The king's son I have landed by himself, whom I left cooling of the air with sighs, in an odd angle of the isle, and sitting, his arms in this sad knot.
Of the king's ship, the mariners, say how thou hast disposed and all the rest of the fleet?
Safely in harbor's the king's ship, in the deep nook, where once thou didst call me up at midnight to fetch dew from the Sylvax vermouths. There she's hid. The mariners all under hatches stowed, who, with the charm joined to their supper labor, I have left asleep. And for the rest of the fleet, which I have dispersed, they have all met again upon the Mediterranean float, bound sadly home for Naples, thinking they have seen the king's ship wrecked, and his great person perish.
Ariel, thy charge exactly is performed. But there's more work to do. What is the time of the day?
Past the mid-season.
At least 2 glasses. The time twixt 6 and now must by us both be spent most preciously.
Is there more toil? Since thou dost give me pains, let me remember thee which thou hast promised, which is not yet performed me.
How now? Moody? What is thou canst demand?
My liberty.
Before the time be out, no more.
I prithee, remember I have done thee worthy service, told thee no lies, made thee no mistakings, served without grudge or grumbling. Thou did promise to bake me a full year.
Dost thou forget from what a torment I did free thee?
No.
Thou dost, and thinks it much to tread the ooze of the salt deep, to run upon the sharp wind of the north, to do me business in the earth when it is baked with frost.
I do not.
Thou liest, malignant thing! Hast thou forgot the foul witch Sycorax, who with age and envy was grown into a hoop? Hast thou forgot her?
No, sir.
Thou hast. Where was she born? Speak, tell me.
Sir, in our G.
Oh, was she so? I must once in a month recount what thou hast been which thou forgett'st. This damned witch Sycorax, for mischiefs manifold and sorceries terrible, from Argier thou knowest she was banished. For one thing she did, they would not take her life. Is not this true?
Aye, sir.
This blue-eyed hag was hither brought with child, and here was left by the sailors. Thou, my slave, as thou reportst, was then her servant. And for thou wast a spirit too delicate to act her earthy and abhorred commands, refusing her grand hests, she did confine thee, by help of her more potent ministers, and in her most unmitigable rage, within a cloven pine, within which rift thou didst painfully remain a 12 years, within which space she died, leaving thee to vent thy groans as fast as mill wheels strike. Then was this island, save for the sun that she did litter here, a freckled whelp, hag-born, not honored with human shape.
I, Caliban, her son.
I, dull thing, that Caliban whom now I keep in service. Thou best knowest from what a torment I did free thee. Thy groans did make wolves howl and penetrate the breasts of ever-angry bears. It was a torment to lay upon the damned, which Sycorax could not again undo. It was mine art, when I arrived and heard thee, that made gape the pine and let thee out.
I thank thee, master.
If thou more murmurst, I will rend an oak and peg thee in his knobby entrails till thou hast howled away a 12 winters.
Pardon, master. I will be correspondent to command, and do my spriting gently.
Do so. And after 2 days, I will discharge.
That's my noble master. What shall I do? Say what? What shall I do?
Go, and make thyself like a nymph of the sea, and be subject to no sight but thine or mine, invisible to every eyeball else. Go, take this shape, and hither come in it. Go, hence, with diligence.
This is Act 4, Scene 3 of Othello, featuring Sidney Bowling as Amelia and Jordana Hernandez as Desdemona.
How goes it now? He looks gentler than he did. He says he will return incontinent, and hath commanded me to go to bed, and bid me to dismiss you. Dismiss me?
It was his bidding. Therefore, good Emilia, give me my nightly wearing and adieu. We must not now displease him.
I would you had never seen him.
So would not I. My love doth so approve that even his stubbornness, his checks, his frowns. Prithee, unpin me. Have grace and favor in them.
I've laid those sheets you bade me on the bed.
All's one. God, how foolish are our minds. If I do die before thee, prithee, shroud me in one of those same sheets.
Come, come. You talk.
My mother had a maid called Barbara. She was in love. He she loved proved mad and did forsake her. She had a song of willow. Old thing 'twas, but it expressed her fortune. And she died singing it. That song tonight will not go from my head. I have much to do but to hang my head all at one side like poor Barbary. Prithee, dispatch.
Shall I fetch your nightgown?
No, unpin me here. This Lodovico is a proper man.
A very handsome man.
He speaks well.
I know a lady in Venice would have walked barefoot to Palestine for a touch of his nether lip.
The poor soul sat sighing by a sycamore tree, sing all a green willow, her hand on her bosom, her head on her knee. Sing willow, willow, willow. The fresh streams ran by her and murmured her moans. Sing willow, willow, willow. Her salt tears fell from her and softened the stones. Sing willow, willow, willow. Prithee, hide thee, he'll come anon. Sing all the green willow must be my garland. Let nobody blame him get thee gone. Good night. Mine eyes do itch. Doth that bode weeping?
'Tis neither here nor there.
I've heard it said so. Oh, these men. These men! Dost thou in conscience think, tell me, Emilia, that there be women to abuse their husbands in such gross kind?
There be some such, no question.
Wouldst thou do such a deed for all the world?
Why? Would not you?
No, by this heavenly light.
Nor I neither by this heavenly light. But I might do it as well in the dark.
Wouldst thou do such a deed for all the world?
The world's a huge thing. It's a great price for a small vice.
Good troth, I think thou wouldst not.
By my troth, I think I should. And I'd do it when I had done it. Marry, I would not do such a thing for a joint ring, nor for measures of the lawn, nor gowns, nor petticoats, nor caps, nor any petty exhibition, but for the whole world, God's pity. Who would not make her husband a cuckold to make him a monarch? I should venture purgatory for it.
Beshrew me, if I would do such a thing for all the world.
But a wrong is but a wrong in the world, and having the world for your labor, 'tis but a wrong in your own world, and you might quickly make it right.
I do not think there is any such woman.
Yes, a dozen. As many to the vantage as would store the world they played for. But I do think it is their husbands' faults, if wives do fall. Say they slack their duties, or pour our treasures into foreign laps, or else break out in peevish jealousies, or say they strike us, or scandal our former having in despite. Why, we have galls, and though we have some grace, yet we have some revenge. Let husbands know their wives have sense like them. They see and smell and have their palate for both sweet and sour, as husbands have. What is it that they do when they change us for others? Is it sport? I think it is. And doth affection breed it? I think it doth. Is it frailty that thus errs? It is so too. And have not we affections, desires for sport, and frailty, as men have? Then let them use us well. Us let them know the ills we do, their ills instruct us so.
Good night. Good night. God me such uses send, not to pick bad from bad, but by bad mend. This is Richard III, Act 1, Scene 2, featuring Anna Marie White as Anne and Will Redmond as Richard.
Foul devil! For God's sake, hence, and trouble us not! For thou hast made the happy earth thy hell, filled it with cursing cries and deep exclaims. If thou delight to view thy heinous deeds, behold this pattern of thy butcheries. Oh, gentlemen, congealed mouths and bleed afresh. Blush, blush, thou lump of foul deformity, for 'tis thy presence that exhales this blood. Thy deeds, inhuman and unnatural, provokes this deluge most unnatural. O God, which this blood makes, revenge his death. O earth, which this blood drinks, revenge his death. Either heaven with lightning strike the murderer dead, or earth gape open wide and even quick, and thou dost swallow up this good king's blood, which his hell-governed arm hath butchered.
Lady! You know no rules of charity, which renders good for bad, blessings for curses.
Villain, thou know'st not law of God nor man. No beast so fierce, but no some touch of pity.
But I know none, and therefore am no beast.
Oh, wonderful when devils tell the truth.
More wonderful when angels are so angry. Vouchsafe divine perfection of a woman, of these supposed crimes, to give me leave by circumstance, but to acquit myself.
Vouchsafe diffused infection of a man, of these known evils, but to give me leave by circumstance to accuse thy cursed self.
Fairer than tongue can name thee. Let me have some patient leisure, but to excuse myself.
Fouler than heart can think thee. Thou canst make no excuse current, but to hang thyself.
By such despairing I should accuse myself.
And by despairing shalt thou stand excused for doing worthy vengeance upon thyself, that didst unworthy slaughter upon others.
Say that I slew them not.
Then say they were not slain, but dead they are, and devilish laid by thee.
I did not kill your husband.
Why, then he's alive.
Nay, he is dead, and slain by Edward's hand.
In thy foul throat thou liest. Queen Margaret saw thy murderous falchion smoking in his blood, to which thou once did bend against her breast, but that thy brothers beat aside the point.
I was provoked by her slanderous tongue that laid their guilt on my guiltless shoulders.
Thou wast provoked by thy bloody mind, that never dreamst on aught but butcheries. Didst thou not kill this king?
I grant you.
Dost grant me, hedgehog? Then God grant me too. Thou mayst be damned for this wicked deed. Oh, he was gentle, mild, and virtuous.
The better for the King of Heaven that hath him.
He is in heaven, where thou shalt never come.
Then let him thank me that hope to send him thither, for he was fitter that place than earth.
And thou unfit for any place but hell.
Yes, one place else, if you will hear me name it.
Some dungeon.
Your bedchamber.
I'll rest betide the chamber where thou liest.
So will it, madam, till I lie with you.
I hope so.
I know so. But, gentle Lady Anne, to leave this keen encounter of our wits and fall something into a slower method, is not the causer of the timeless deaths of these Plantagenets, Henry and Edward, as blameful as the executioner?
Thou wast the cause, and most accursed effect.
Your beauty was the cause of that effect. Your beauty which did haunt me in my sleep to undertake the death of all the world, that I might live 1 hour in your sweet bosom.
If I thought that, I tell thee, homicide, these nails should rent that beauty from my cheeks.
These eyes could not endure that beauty's rack. You should not blemish it if I stood by. As all the world is cheered by the sun, so I by that. It is my day, my life.
Black night o'ershade thy day, and death thy life.
Curse not thyself, fair creature, thou art both.
I would I were, to be revenged on thee.
It is a quarrel most unnatural to be revenged on him that loveth thee.
It is a quarrel just and reasonable to be revenged on him that killed my husband.
He that bereft thee, lady, of thy husband, did it to help thee to a better husband.
His better doth not breathe upon the earth.
He lives that loves thee better than he could.
Name him.
Plantagenet.
Why, that was he.
The self-same name, but one of better nature.
Where is he?
Here. Why dost thou spit at me?
Would it were mortal poison for thy sake.
Never came poison from so sweet a place.
Never hung poison on a fowler toad. Out of my sight, thou dost infect mine eyes.
Thine eyes, sweet lady, have infected mine.
Would they were basilisks to strike thee dead.
I would they were. For now they kill me with a living death. These eyes of thine from mine have drawn salt tears, shamed their aspects with store of childish drops. These eyes which never shed remorseful tear, not when thy warlike father, like a child, told the sad story of my father's death, and 20 times made pause to sob and weep that all the standers-by had wet their cheeks like trees bedashed with rain. In that sad time, my manly eyes did scorn an humble tear. But what these sorrows could not thence exhale, thy beauty hath, and made them blind with weeping. I never sued to friend nor enemy. My tongue could never learn sweet, smoothing word, but now thy beauty is proposed my fee. My proud heart sues, and prompts my tongue to speak. Teach not thy lips such scorn, for it was made for kissing, lady, not for such contempt. And if thy revengeful heart cannot forgive, lo, I lend thee this sharp-pointed sword, which if thou please to hide in this true breast, and let the soul forth that adoreth thee, I lay it naked to the deadly stroke, and humbly beg the death upon my knee. Nay, do not pause, for I did kill King Henry. But 'twas thy beauty that provoked me. Nay, now dispatch! 'Twas I that stabbed young Edward. But 'twas thy heavenly face that set me on. Take up the sword or take up me.
Arise, dissembler. Though I wish thy death, I will not be thy executioner.
Then bid me kill myself.
I have already.
That was in thy rage. Speak it again. And even with the word, this hand which for thy love did kill thy love, will for thy love kill a far truer love. To both their deaths shalt thou be accessory.
I would I knew thy heart.
'Tis figured in my tongue.
I fear me both are false.
Then never was man true.
Well. Well, put up your sword.
Say that my peace is made.
That shalt thou know hereafter.
But shall I live in hope?
All men, I hope, live so.
Vouchsafe to wear this ring.
To take is not to give.
See how my ring encompasseth thy finger. So too thy breast encloseth my poor heart. Wear both of them, for both of them are thine, and if thy poor devoted servant may but beg one favor at thy gracious hand, thou dost confirm his happiness forever.
What is it?
That it may please you to leave these sad designs to him that hath most cause to be a mourner, and repair at once to Crosby House, where, after I have solemnly interred at Chertsey Monastery this noble king, and wet his grave with my repentant tears, I will with all expedient duty see. For diverse unknown reasons, I beseech you, grant me this boon.
With all my heart. And it joys me, too, to see you are become so penitent.
Bid me farewell.
'Tis more than you deserve. But since you teach me how to flatter you, imagine I have said farewell already.
Was ever woman in this humor wooed? Was ever woman in this humor won? I'll have her, but I will not keep her long.